Hi guys, this is B. Welcome to my new channel, and as you guys can tell, today we are at the Toretto's house from Fast and the Furious. We're going to be speaking to the technical director of Fast and the Furious, and we're also going to be visiting my favorite taco spot.
BL sound system. Holla.
On a Sunday morning, get shit get your stuff on. You don't have to work it, show me let's roll.
Let's roll.
Just chill, ain't no need to fight.
No doubt.
Cause we're feeling alright.
Let's go.
So tell us a bit about yourself.
So people know me from my role in Fast and Furious movie as a technical advisor. It was my job to help them pick the cars, pick the parts, find extras. I consulted on the dialogue and consulted on the builds of the cars. I own the Supra from the first movie, the Maxima from the first movie, and the Skyline GTR from the second movie. So I was instrumental and very much involved in the production process from start to finish, all the way through marketing and DVD release. And that adventure lasted for the first two movies, plus some help on the third movie.
Nice. So did you hire people to do these other jobs, or you completely did them?
So the way it basically worked is that Universal had a picture car department like most motion pictures. They have a group of people, men and women, who put together the cars. So my job was, because I was a tuner guy and I knew a lot about the tuner market and had a lot of connections in the tuner market, my job was to contact the manufacturers of parts that you would see on the cars, the body kits, the wheels, tires, brakes, etc., 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 to consult on the builds, to help find the right parts for the look that we were trying to achieve, and then basically just walk them through the process of how these cars would be built and what kind of modifications people were using, and then how to integrate that into the script, into the action.
So being a technical director, how did you forget the brakes on the Jetta?
Oh, the technical advisor always gets the blame. You ever watch Star Trek?
No.
Okay, you're aware there's a TV show called Star Trek?
Yes.
Do you realize that there's no aerodynamics in space, so spaceships don't need to bank? They don't need to turn left and right? Okay. So the Jetta that we're talking about belonged to Scott Sentra. He was the builder of the Hero Jetta, and so of course we had replicas. So on Scotty's Jetta, it had 19-inch Koenig tantrum wheels, right? And if you take a look at the brake discs on those cars back in those days, they were maybe 11 inches. So you have a 19-inch wheel and an 11-inch brake disc. It looks weak sauce, right? It's just this big. It looks freaking stupid. Taking a styling trend borrowed from the mini truck styling trend of the 1980s. For those people who weren't alive, most vehicles back then came with disc brakes in the front and then drums in the back. So they would bolt on these fake discs to make it look like it had big giant four-wheel disc brakes, and it was a cool look. So we needed some way to do that with the stunt car that we were going to use for the launch, because you remember the camera goes down low, focuses in on the wheel, and if you have this little tiny brake rotor like this when Jesse's driving the stunt car, it's going to look just stupid. I mean, just freaking stupid. So we put the disc cover on there, and of course there's no caliper over that, so people are saying there's no brake caliper and no brakes. What's going on? That's what's going on. Behind that fake disc cover, there's an actual brake rotor and the actual factory disc. So
Basically, it was a sham. It was a cover-up.
yeah, movies tend to do that.
You're right. So how many cars got destroyed?
Good question. If you want to define the word destroyed, you mean cars that would no longer operate? We had a great production car, or picture car team on all these movies, so anything that gets broken gets fixed usually within a day or two, depending on what it is. This is why we build 4 cars. We have Hero 1, Hero 2, Stunt 1, Stunt 2. Like, for example, the Supra that jumped the bridge in Too Fast, Too Furious, that car was specially rigged with the roll cage. That car still survives to this day. It's been done and redone and just recently got sold again, so that car still exists. Suki's S2000, same thing. The Heist Civic got reused, the one that rolled multiple times in the desert. That black car got reused in Too Fast, Too Furious. So they get tore up, but they get fixed until the point where they're going to blow up a car. So the Eclipse is for sure one car that got blown up. We really blew up a car and all that stuff. That car still exists. It's in a museum in Las Vegas. So the answer is not as many as you would think. Miami, we did destroy a lot of police cars.
How did you guys get the title?
The Fast and the Furious. It was taken from a 1954 film of the same name, The Fast and the Furious. The production team really liked that name. It was originally Red Line. The scripts that we worked off of all said Red Line. Even the hats and the t-shirts we wore on set said Red Line. But later on, after they ran a Super Bowl commercial in early 2001, they decided to change the name. Actually, right before that, they changed the name, and they had contacted the people who owned the rights to the first movie, and they changed the name. And I don't know what kind of deal was struck, but that's basically how it came to pass. Candidly, when I first heard the name, I was like, the Fast and the Furious. How was these Furious? It just sounded kind of comical to me, but here we are.
Paul Walker. I know he's everybody's favorite character. How was he on set as a person?
He was just a chill guy. I mean, you know, when I saw him on set, it was just casual. Because I owned the cars, the Supra and the Skyline, he and I got to spend a fair amount of time together, and we started talking about cars. And he met other people like Sean Morris, who's like the GTR god in this country. And so by asking people like us questions, and Sean in particular, about these tuner cars and their capabilities, he really learned a lot and really jumped into it. When I met him, he had I think it was a 66 Chevy 2. It was like a Nova kind of looking dealio. And he had started segueing into Nissan Skylines. He was friends with Daryl Allison a little later in the years, who was bringing cars in through a company called Kaizo, and he really jumped into these cars. When I saw him on part 2, by that time we had traveled together. After Fast and Furious 1, Universal hired me to go out and do car show tours with Paul, so we got to travel to a few events up and down the West Coast. And he was very approachable, very cool, very chill, just like a car person you would talk to at any car show in any city. So he was just a cool guy.
Cool guy. What's the best memory you have of him?
Oh God, there's so many good ones. I think there was probably the best one is Too Fast, Too Furious. So the first time I saw Paul for Too Fast, Too Furious, we were already in Florida because the cars had been built, and we were getting ready to do some test driving stuff where they were going to do a driving at a track. And I saw him leaning up against the car, and I had to get into the car real quick to do something. He goes, "Is this one yours?" I said, "Well, this one isn't, but it's based off of my car." He goes, "I should have known." I said, "It was the black car that you almost bought," because Paul was actually driving a black one for a while. That was the car. He allegedly was going to buy the car, but then he changed his mind and then bought another car. I ended up buying the black car, which I painted blue, I got painted silver, and then was used in the movie. So there was that connection. I said, "You're still doing this movie?" And he said, "Hey, as long as they want to keep paying me thinking I'm an actor, I'll keep doing these movies." So he was all about any movie that had guns, cars, or surfing. He was all about it.
As you guys can see here, we have Paul Walker's car from Fast and the Furious, and this is a 95 Eclipse. Another cool fact is that this hood scoop, you see this one right here, had no purpose. It was actually an obstacle for the people. It would crack from the back because the air would go in and obviously had nowhere to go. And condensation would build up. So every time the car would stop, it would let all the water come to the front, which would ruin the scene. So at one point they had to fill it with rags. The original car was owned by John Lapid, and it was originally a Mercedes Silver. Universal Studios decided to paint it a green, and it turned out to be the Kawasaki green you see right now. So I don't know about you guys, but every time I see this vehicle, obviously it reminds me of Paul Walker, but it also reminds me of the little things in the movie that just didn't make sense for me, like the nitro and the floor pad. It's just a pretty cool quality to think about. Can you tell me a fact about this car?
Sure. If you talk about the movie car, the hero car, the main car that we used in the movie, it wasn't even turbocharged. And people who know anything about cars, when they saw under the hood, they could tell it wasn't turbocharged.
Yeah. And you had to roll up the windows too, right?
Had to roll up the windows in the hero car. It was an RS, not a GS or a GST.
So I want to thank you for having us.
My pleasure.
Where can our followers find you?
On my website, fastandfuriousfacts.com. They can find me on Instagram at my name, Craig Lieberman _42. And they can find my YouTube channel or Patreon channel under my name, Craig Lieberman, or Fast and Furious Facts.
Okay. If you guys have any questions, follow him. I'm pretty sure he already has the answer on one of his pages, but if he doesn't, let him know. Hi guys, this is B and we're here at La Perla Tapatia, home of the best carne asada in town. And this is Miguel, who basically runs the whole place. So tell us a little bit about this place.
Well, we came here about 2 years ago, took over, and just doing our best to keep it going and bring good food to the people.
Hi guys, so this is their famous Tea City salad. It is freaking delicious. Look at this, all the cheese, fire. So this is their famous carne asada. So not only can you get tacos from it, you can actually buy it and take it home and make your own carne asada barbecue. So don't mind if I do, because I'm hungry. So a cool fact about this place is that a lot of MMA fighters come and visit this place. They come and eat and enjoy the traditional Mexican food, as seen here.
This is what our fighters call the Wall of Fame. You'll find a lot of familiar names. We have Carlos Parza, Ed Suarez, who's the manager, Stephen Bonner. You'll find John Robles, Mike Safai, he's a trainer, Khalil, Dima, Kenny Johnson. Here, Veronica Mancedo, Ashley Smith, John Cruz, all the BBS guys. Here it's Alan Juban over here. Then you got Brian T. City Ortega over here. So you'll find a lot of familiar names. I'm sure I'm missing a few. Oh, James Moonwalker's there. He's an ex-UFC fighter. A bunch of coaches, Eduardo Pamplona, Kenny Johnson, and the Cookie Monster, their training partner.
Hello guys, I would like to give a special thanks to the staff at La Perla for being great, for Miguel and Craig for being part of my video, and also if you guys like our contacts, please subscribe to my channel and also follow me on Instagram, BEE_Z32. As you guys can see here, we have the Fast and the Furious. Every time I say Fast and the Furious, I get stuck. So they have all these flavors. As you can tell, they have the Oreo and everything, the stuffed cream, and they fucking have the Philadelphia with the jalapeno bolillo. That's fucking fire.